12s, stop everything. Lumen Field just erupted with breaking news, and the first number to hit the wire is $11,593. Yes, a star just got fined, but that's not the big story. A shocking trade just landed in Seattle, putting Jackson Smith-Jiba's historic pace of 2,000 yards in jeopardy. And a former Pro Bowler just got cut, facing forced retirement the first payoff, that $11,593 fine. It just landed on Tariq Woolen's desk for unsportsmanlike conduct. If you create earthquakes when this team plays, smash that like button right now. We start with the trade that is splitting the 12s. Is JSN's record-breaking season over? The move at the trade deadline was deeper than a simple roster move. It was a statement general manager John Schneider did one important thing. He showed a decisive vote of confidence in Sam Darnold. This trade was an injection of belief that this current team with Darnold at the helm can go deep this season. He didn't just add a player, he provided Darnold with another legitimate downfield weapon. But this immediately raises the most critical question in Seattle. Right now, how does this affect Jackson Smith-Jigba? How does it impact his historic record pacing season, where he could shatter the 2,000-yard mark, the name Rashid Shaheed, and his arrival as the center of the conflict? Let's be clear, the off-season acquisition of Cooper Kupp was big, but Kupp has just been good, not amazing. Perhaps that's why Schneider took a run at Shaheed. Smith-Jigba is currently on pace to break Calvin Johnson's legendary 960 for single-season receiving yards record, a mark that has stood since 2012. JSN is averaging a staggering 118.5 yards per game. If he maintains this average, he won't just pass Megatron. He could surge past 2,000 yards. That is generational, outrageous, and history-making. But all that talk was before Shaheed, a player who is remarkably similar to JSN and in receiver type landed at Lumen. Both are elite deep threats. Both rack up the majority of their yards on downfield pauses. Since 2019, Shaheed has quietly amassed over 1,000 yards on deep passes alone. His specialty is exactly JSN's specialty. So does Shaheed's arrival stunt Jackson's pursuit of history? The argument is twofold, and it's dividing the 12s. On one hand, you can argue that Darnold now has to deep threats, which gives Shaheed just as many chances to catch deep balls as JSN, effectively stealing his usual number of opportunities. This could, and the word is could, absolutely kill Smith-Jigba's record-breaking season. His targets, his catches, and subsequently his yards would obviously decrease. The other argument, however, is that this helps JSN. If Shaheed comes in as the definitive WR2 and, Cooper Kupp, but this is now the case, the former Saint becomes a decoy, not a deterrent. Shaheed's speed can be used to pull safety help over the top, forcing defenses to respect him and pulling more defenders his way. This allows JSN to feast on the single coverage he hasn't seen all year. If Shaheed is used in this capacity, JSN's chances of breaking the record are still very much within his grasp. As great as Sam Darnold has played, he is still not a quarterback who can put the cape on like a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mouse Darnold has succeeded because of the help and the talent around him. With Shaheed, Darnold has even more help, and hopefully so does JSN. He should in theory benefit more than he suffers. Do you think this makes the offense the fast or just right? But the locker room isn't just buzzing about new rivals. They're talking about departures. A former leader, a Pro Bowler, just got blindsided and his career might be over. The year 2025 has been rough for former Seahawks. It's almost like a curse. Not just players, but coaches too. Pete Carroll's first season in Las Vegas has been a struggle. Former quarterbacks Geno Smith and Russell Wilson are stuck on struggling teams. Even Tyler Lockett had to force his release from the Tennessee Titans just to escape. And now the latest name to feel that cold reality is Quandra Diggs. The former Seahawks Pro Bowl safety, a massive 12s favorite, a true leader in the old locker room, has just been released by the Tennessee Titans. And the timing, the optics, could not be more brutal. The Titans cut him just days after claiming another former Seahawk, the younger, cheaper safety Jerrick Rue, off waivers. They essentially swapped Diggs for a discount version. The question now is whether Diggs will find another team. He might, but he's also almost 33 years old and has a recent injury history. That combination is poison in the NFL. It scares front offices. Still, he's known as a great locker room guy, a consummate pro, and he had a solid 90.3 passer rating allowed this year. But the insider scoop confirmed by Adam Schefter is that his market is ice cold. He likely will not be coming back to Seattle. Let's be perfectly clear, he is a bad fit in Mike McDonald's scheme. Diggs is a pure center-fielding free safety. McDonald wants versatile, movable chess pieces. He wants players who can be moved all over the alignment to disguise the scheme, guys who can play in the box, cover the slot, and blitz, much like Kyle Hamilton in Baltimore. Diggs just isn't that player. He isn't bad. He's just a bad fit. So where does he go? There is one and only one obvious answer: the Las Vegas Raiders. It's become Pete Carroll's island of misfit Seahawks. The list is getting comical. Lockett is already there, Jamal Adams is there, Stone Forsythe and John Rattigan are there. They have effectively built Seahawks West. If Quandra Diggs still wants to play, ending up with the Raiders makes the most sense. But if Vegas doesn't pick him up, he could be facing a forced retirement. That is a tough, bitter end for a player who was ultra-productive for Seattle, a man who grabbed 10 interceptions in his first 2 full seasons with the team. A true ball hawk. How will you remember Diggs' time in Seattle? Click that like button if you respect what he gave to the blue and green. But while Diggs faces the exit door, another Seattle defensive back is facing the front office, but for a very different reason he stayed, and now he's paying the price. The Seahawks are flying high. They are one of the best teams in the NFL, coming off a dominant statement 38-4 win over the Washington Commanders in Week 9. The vibes are perfect, but the NFL, the no-fun league, loves to bring teams back down to earth. On November 8th, the league office released its game day accountability report, and one Seahawks player was on the fine list. The incident, it happened in the 4th quarter at the 10:46 mark. The violation, unsportsmanlike conduct. The player Tariq Woolen got the fine a very specific $11,593. But honestly, that $11,593, fine as pocket change compared to the mental stress Woolen has been under recently. For the last 5 to 6 weeks, Woolen's name was boiling in trade rumors. This wasn't a last-minute deadline day whisper. This was a sustained loud rumor that he was on the block, many in the media, and even some 12s thought he would be dealt Seattle, however ultimately opted to hold on to the player rather than receive mid-round draft capital. Woolen finally broke his silence about the rumors. He said, and I'm quoting directly, "Honestly, it's crazy because that whole trade rumor thing was happening for 5-6 weeks, and nobody ever asked me a question about it till now. So it's interesting, I really don't care. It's just funny, nobody asked any questions to anybody, on staff or me. I knew certain things that were happening behind the scenes, so I wasn't really worried knew certain things." What exactly was happening behind the scenes? It means he knew Seattle valued depth over a future pick. He knew the Seahawks are fighting for the NFC West, that they have Super Bowl aspiration this year, keeping a player of Woolen's caliber, even if he isn't the perfect scheme fit, was more ideal than a future 3rd or 4th round pick. And head coach Mike McDonald seems happy he stayed. McDonald said he stacked a really good games, good weeks of practice. He went on to praise Woolen for his versatility that wasn't really our original plan. Reek did a great job playing a lot of the things that we hadn't given those looks. It tells you he's preparing, he's confident, and he's playing fast. That is a coach publicly backing his player. With his short-term future set and the trade deadline long gone, Woolen only needs to worry about that fine. Did the Seahawks make the right call by keeping Woolen instead of cashing in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We've covered the explosive offense, the ghost of teammates past, and the fortified defense. Now, let's tie it all together. The 12s are the loudest fans in the league. It's time to prove it. 3 stories, 1 storm. This is the new identity of Seattle, forged in real time. The Rashid Shaheed trade sends a clear signal. This team is hunting explosive plays. Sam Darnold has the full vote of confidence, and JSN is the undisputed future of the offense. The retention of Tariq Woolen proves this team is all in on 2025. They chose proven present-day depth for a Super Bowl run over future lottery tickets. Woolen is the present and the unceremonious exit of Quandra Diggs. That is the final definitive signal. The Pete Carroll era is officially over. Diggs is the past. This is Mike McDonald's team, now complex, versatile, and ruthless. This is the new identity. JSN is chasing Megatron. Woolen is justified and playing fast. Darnold is armed and dangerous. This team isn't just fighting for the NFC West. It is built to challenge the 49ers and the Rams head-on with speed, confidence, and a new defensive philosophy. The path to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field, and the 12s are the loudest fans in the league. It's time to prove it. Here is what I need from the 12th man right now.